Greetings and salutations, my name is JW608, and today we're playing Starmade, and we're playing with Power 2.0. And specifically today we're playing with shields, and you'll notice I have a station here with a healthy-sized reactor. And it's 100% stabilized and all that, but that's beside the point for today. We want to talk about shields. Shields have changed since the old days. We still have this two basic blocks. We still have rechargers and capacitors. Although notice this new UI stuff that popped up. It's showing, this line here is showing which recharger this capacitor is going to. And that little plus sign there is showing the rough center of the reactors, of the group here, of the group of shields. Why do you need to know the rough center? Because the sphere depends upon it. It's the center of the reactors is the center of the sphere. What's the sphere? Well, we'll talk about the sphere here in a second. Alright. Back to reactors. You can have multiple groupings of shields now. Except not overlapping. See how the sphere's gone red? That means, oh, something's overlapping, don't do that. Okay. But notice this out here doesn't have a sphere. I can have a second reactor there. There we go. So now this area is covered by a shield bubble. Or sphere. I'm going to call it a bubble, even though that's probably not the right terminology for it. Actually, let's pull that in. There you go. So anything inside this sphere is protected by shields. So if I was to shoot this stabilizer right here, it would be shielded. If I was to shoot this one over here, it would not be shielded. Because it's not inside a sphere of influence for one of the shields. So you need to take care when placing shields. So you're making sure all the important bits are covered by shielding. Namely your reactor and stabilizers. And possibly weapons, computers, things like that. Overlapping shields. Shields don't stack. From what I understand, it will take the shielding of the stronger reactor if there's any overlap. So like this block here, it's being protected by that one and that one. See, this one's now a larger, stronger shield grouping. So if I was to shoot this one, it would use that shield. Now what happens when that shield's gone? I don't know. Anyway, let's try to keep this a little more simple. Under shields here in this little information bar, there are two active shields, and I can cycle through them. They're named 511787 and 29172. This one here, if you hover your mouse over it, this one is 511782. Yes, so the 511785 is this one. I said 82. But we're going to get rid of it and keep things simple for right now. Alright. Shield box. So this bubble, let me emphasize that shields are, if I was to fire a cannon at it, the cannon bolts would not stop here. They would continue and hit this. Because this isn't the shield itself, this is the sphere of influence. Anything inside of it is shielded. It is not the shield itself. This isn't like a Gungan battle shield. This is telling you what blocks are affected by this shield grouping. Okay. Now that I've said that, let's look at capacitors and rechargers. They still have the same basic functions, except the rechargers now generate the sphere and determine the positioning. So if I was to build one down here, let's see the sphere moved. If I build one down there, the sphere moves. I want that one right there. Okay. And if you'll take a look here, capacity HP, that's how much we have currently. Capacity is how much is max shield HP. Recharge per second, right now we're getting 20 shields per second. You can see that tick up. Upkeep at 3 HP per second. Radius 35 meters. So this shield bubble is 35 meters in radius. That's what, 70 meters in diameter? Something like that, because math. Structural integrity of 190. Consumption. It is rest. It consumes 20 energy per second, and while charging it consumes 20 energy per second. Now it's 40 energy per second, because every time I add a reactor, notice recharge goes from 20 to 40. So each reactor provides 20 shields, or 20 recharge, but it's going to cost 20 power. So let's see. I can do something like this there. That's 200 HP per second, and it costs 200 HP per second. We can confirm that by going to our reactor and to consumers. Shield capacity collection manager, that's not what I want. Shield local, this shield grouping costs 200 at rest and 200 at charge. So it costs 200 units of energy per second to have this shield. Now I could also add the capacitors. Notice capacitors don't add any energy usage, but they do add quite a bit of max HP. Notice I go from 600 to 1000, 1400, 1800, 2200. Every capacitor adds 400 max capacity of shields. So this is much easier to figure. It doesn't use the strange formula for figuring out usages. I mean, it takes your shields, multiplies them by 400, or takes the number of blocks, multiplies it by 400. And that's how many shield capacity it gives. Like this 10 by 10 by 10, which is, what, 1000 blocks? That doesn't sound right. Anyway, times 400, yeah. 10 by 10 by 10 times 400 is 400,000. So, that's what we have, 408,000, because we get the 8,000 from these, I believe. Yeah. Well, plus 200, because the first one gives you 600. See? Plus 200, because the very first one gives you 600. Alright, but now there's a distance I can place these. Every capacitor I place within the sphere, notice it points back to that reactor recharger. So, any shield capacitor I place in the sphere of influence goes to that capacitor. Notice these don't have the recharger. Notice these capacitors don't have the line. They're not being affected. See, I can add these all day and check out the max HP. It's going nowhere because these are not involved with that reactor. Now, if I was to put a reactor, say, there, these go to that one because that one's closest. Or it's within their sphere. And it looks like these were already claimed when I put this one down. So they're going to that one, or maybe they just go to the larger one. Yep, looks like they go to the larger one. I don't know that for sure. Gonna have to verify that. Okay. And that is the basics of shields. Other than that, they work basically the same way they've always worked. You shoot stuff and the shield takes damage instead of your ship. Let's see, they do have structural integrity. So if you do not build them properly, or if you build them in like long lines and they get shot, they might explode, and that is not true. With shielding, structural integrity is the shield itself. So if I have negative structural integrity and this gets shot, right now, if I was to hop out and I was to pull my pistol, and shoot this. Huh. That should be shield damage. Wonder if it's not generating any because of structural integrity. I don't know. Anyway, structural integrity causes things to explode. There we go. Wait a minute, why isn't that taking shield damage? That's strange. That should be taking damage to the shields, not to the blocks itself. Unless the laser pistol's been changed so it damages the blocks itself. That's probably just a bug. It'll either get fixed or I did something wrong, but the shield techniques we showed here are good information. And if you're ever not sure about it, the quick building reference, shields, and it tells you all this information I just told you, and has pretty pictures. Alright, those have been Shields, and I have been JW608, and this has been Starmade. I will take you cats later.